is this working for me? Maybe not. It's one thing for it to work for you just authentically, luckily, gracefully, and it's another thing for you to want it to work for you. Like, you have to build yourself up to that space. If it's something that you want, it would never be given to you. You have to take it, and sometimes you have to take it by force, and that means you have to do more, show up more, push yourself more, get out of your comfortable zone. Alright, so hey loves, and welcome back to another episode of KELECHI'S Corner. And this is a safe space where you guys get to ask me questions relating to YouTube growth, personal development, personal life, beauty, lifestyle, anything, and we just come on here and we share based on our expertise and our experience as well. I'm so happy to be back. In case you guys are seeing a different set or a different setup in different episodes, just know that we are trying to spice things up. We're trying to find the perfect spot, and that's the cool thing about being a creative, is that you're not fixed on one type or one path or one set. If you feel like you haven't achieved or gotten the best set, then it's left for you to kind of decide and play around and redesign and move things around. Like I always say, move things around. That's like one of the things that I say in most of my production related content. Move things around. If it's not working for you, move it. If you feel like where you're filming is too dark, move your setup and film somewhere brighter. And that's exactly what I do. Like, I just can't stop. I can't help myself because I just love moving things around. So back to today's topic, today's question. I'm super pumped. I'm super excited. I just filmed a hair video and I feel like I can rule the world now because I'm productive. So yeah. Today's question is from Abigail. Before I even start with the question, in case you have any dying question, any like issues with just anything personal or professional that you feel like I might have the capacity and capability to answer, feel free to ask me a question. I'll leave the links down in the description box so you guys can also share as well. But today's question is from Abigail and it goes, "Hi Casey, trust you are doing well. I've been feeling a bit down cause my videos on YouTube hasn't been performing well. I almost got to 3,000 watch hours last year, but because I didn't hit it, my watch hours started dropping, which it is still dropping. I decided not to give up and keep posting consistently, but I'm not getting the views and engagement I want. Please, can you review my channel and tell me what to improve on? I'd really appreciate that." So I filmed a video a couple of days ago and it definitely is live because I posted it live today, and it was relating to something like this: the algorithm not growing, not seeing the engagement and views that you anticipated. And that's the thing with YouTube and with entrepreneurship in general. Whether you are a creative or you are someone who is in business, you may not get the result every single time that you want, and that's fine. And that's why it's always good to kind of like go back to the drawing board and figure out, what exactly am I doing that is not good? The answer lies within us. You have to kind of do an internal analysis and see, okay, is this working for me? Maybe not. It's one thing for it to work for you just authentically, luckily, gracefully, and it's another thing for you to want it to work for you. I don't know if you see the difference, right? Sometimes we just do something randomly and it blows up and it works for us. Sometimes we know that this is the path that I want to like focus on, and no matter what, it has to work for me. And so because you keep feeding into it and also feeding into yourself, so that way you can feed into it better more, you find that because you're focusing your energy, your time, we are showing up every single day because we're feeding into it, because we know that that thing has to work. The universe just makes it work for you. But in order for that thing to work, you have to keep pouring into it and feeding into it. It's just like you have an empty well, for instance, and the well is empty. You want it to be full. It's not going to take you one day to fill it up. Neither is it going to take you 2 days. But you have to keep pouring into it. Is it going to be hard? Of course. Just imagine yourself pouring into an empty well. It feels like it's never ending. It's never going to be filled up. But if you show up every single day pouring into that well consistently, maybe even multiple times a day, it will only take you maybe a couple of months for that well to be full. So it's the same thing with putting your energy into something that you want it to work. And for me, I like to be very objective with things that I cannot control. So for instance, I cannot control how people react towards me and towards my content and towards like my brand in general. But I could also shape on the way people react, right? So the things that I don't have control over, I try to not bother myself about it. However, the things that I can control and I have control over, that's where I tend to put on my energy. Now, I'm personally like, I've been posting consistently for the past 1 week now because I'm doing a 31-day challenge. Are my videos doing like amazing? Not really. And that's just us being honest. However, something that I keep saying to myself and to you guys is YouTube for me is like your investment. It's like digital currency. It's a digital investment that you make. Every content you make or you put out has a potential of earning you money in years to come. And I've said that a couple of times. I experienced that sometimes I don't post for weeks and I still make something from YouTube because I had previously invested my content in it, So I'm not bothered about immediate gratification. I'm not bothered about immediate results. All I'm bothered about is, am I building my brand the way that I want it to be built? And am I growing myself personally? Am I developing? Am I better off than I was a week ago, right? Sometimes we focus on vanity metrics and numbers and things that really doesn't have substance. But in retrospect, we should be looking at things that can give us substance, things that can make us better as a brand, as a person, as a channel, as a community. You know what I'm saying? So the views will come eventually. It took me years before I started seeing anything substantial on my YouTube channel. And I remember the first time I made $1, because then I don't think we didn't have any of these restrictions, 1,000 subscribers, 3,000 watch hours. We didn't have any of that. So I'd posted consistently and then I made my first dollar on AdSense. It wasn't like I made $100. It was $1 that I made in 1 month, and this was like months after I had started like creating content on YouTube. And I remember like messaging my sister, like I think, was it BBM? No, it wasn't BBM Messenger. I can't remember if it was BBM Messenger, but I remember messaging my sister like, oh my god, I just made $1. And then it was £1 actually, not $1, because I was in the UK. I made £1 and I'm like, oh, you mean I can make £1 by just doing what I would typically do for free? That for me was a light towards the potential that this platform holds. And when I started thinking like, if I can make $1, it means that if I do this thing a couple of more times, I could probably make 10, 20, 30, 50. And that's how we kept on going. So most times it's good to see the bigger picture, the end result, and then work backward, right? But an advice that I would give you is you need to focus less on the numbers and focus more on giving out quality content. And most times with that quality content, it's about, you have to pin yourself against other people. There is unhealthy competition and there's healthy competition. The kind of competition that I do is, what I like to do is I pin myself against people in my niche, people that are creating similar content, and I look for how to be better, either better than them or improve the way that I'm creating based on how my competitors are creating. So for instance, if I'm in the YouTube growth niche, if I'm in the beauty niche, I want to see, okay, let me say beauty niche for instance. I want to see, oh my God, what kind of setup do they have? And what kind of setup do I have? And how can I make my setup to be like of that standard or possibly even better? How are they delivering their content? How are they editing it? What are they doing that I can do? Because if A is doing the same thing I'm doing and A is getting more traction than I am, then there is something right that A is doing. So I want to not really copy, but I want to pin myself against A and analyze ourselves, see what their strengths are, see what their weaknesses are, see what my own strengths are and what my weaknesses are, and then kind of see if there's an opportunity or a gap that I can fill or do better or advance myself. I watch a lot of production content. It's what I love: lighting setup, podcast setup, film setup. It just is me. And I watch it to be entertained, but also to advance myself, because not only do I want to have an amazing set, I want to also teach people how to have an amazing set. And I can't be teaching you what I learned 3 years ago. I have to stay updated. So sometimes I watch other people that are in my niche and see what they're doing and be inspired by it and get an idea from it and try to sometimes replicate it, So that's something I would do for you, is to do like a competitors analysis. Analyze yourself, analyze your brand, and compare it to the people within your niche. So if you're in Nigeria, for instance, and maybe you're filming like beauty content, there are tons of beauty creators in the Nigerian space. So you might want to pin yourself against the ones that are doing amazingly well. Because again, something that I would say is, if you want to learn or if you want to advance yourself, you want to make sure that you're learning from the people who have advanced themselves. If you want to be a millionaire, you have no business listening to someone who is just making hundreds of dollars. You want to make sure that you're spending your time devouring knowledge, information from those that have made and surpassed $1 million or $1 million, right? Because they have the experience and they have the expertise, right? So if you are a beauty content creator and you want to have 1 million subscribers or 100K subscribers, or you want to have your quality to look a certain way, you want to make sure that you're pinning yourself against people who are in the same niche, who are probably doing the similar content, and then see what they are doing and learn from them as well. If it's their editing, the way they film, the way they set up their studio, the way they do the makeup, what products they use, maybe what series they have. Because if you're doing beauty, for instance, you might have a series for, basic makeup, everyday basic, how to do eyebrow, how to do eyeshadow, how to do foundation routine. You might also have another series for reviews, just reviewing new products. So you want to see that and analyze that and pin yourself against them and see how you can improve yourself. And that is the best advice I would give you, because that is not only what I've done, that is also what I'm doing every single day. Most of the contents that I generate are a reflection of what people in my niche are doing, right? But then I put my own twist to it, and then I see what the audience like, and then I try to replicate it as well. And I try to add my own twist and my knowledge and my DIY and my tricks and things that I do. Because I remember when I was doing some of the when I first started off creating, right? A lot of my beauty gurus that I used to envy then, they had amazing setup, like they had everything, right? And I was like, it was so expensive to get gears. Why am I getting emotional? It was so expensive to get gears back then. And I'm just kind of looking at my setup and I'm like, wow, we've come a long way. But it was so expensive to get gears, to get like backdrop stand, all of that. Now, mind you, my quality was amazing because I would study these people. I would study Jeffree Star. I would study Jackie Aina, Patrick Star. I would study what's her name again? She had amazing setup. Oh my goodness. I can't remember their names, but I would study them. I would watch like tens of their videos, go through the description box to see what lighting they're using, and I'll try to replicate it in the best way possible. I was crazy about improving my content, but I couldn't afford some of the things they have. The lightings were so expensive. The lightings were like over $1,000 for just one. Yeah. So I would look for ways to improvise, but then it was just bomb, right? I remember I had a backdrop series where like I would hang my backdrop on the wall using hooks. I don't know if I was the one that invented that, but I did that and the video went viral, right? I would hang it using hooks, using what's it called? Those sticky hooks that sticks on the wall, and I can't remember the names. My brain is not working properly. But I would do that and hang my backdrop on. I remember the moment I figured that out, I'm like, yo, I have a small office, but I can hang backdrops up and film makeup tutorials, and every video I will have a different backdrop. And the backdrops I was using, I used to buy them from like fabric stores. It was so cheap, like 200 naira for like a yard, and you would not even know, because by the time I set it up, you dare not come for me. It was bomb. Sometimes I would take my mom's wrapper. I will look for those videos where I'll show you guys. I would take my mom's wrapper and I would hang it, because you know the African print is so beautiful, it's so colorful, it's so vibrant, and I would put that behind me and I would make it work, you know. So that was a couple of ways that I would kind of pin myself against people in my industry, see what they're doing, try to replicate it, and in turn advance myself, advance my skills, advance my quality as well. So I don't want to ramble too much. I feel like I have already I have we've spoken for almost 20 minutes. So what I want to do is to quickly open up your YouTube page and kind of see what we're working with. I want to kind of do like a basic analysis, I guess. Nothing too intense, just kind of an overview, maybe like a 5 minutes overview. I made myself a drink and I forgot about it. But something I'm going to say is, don't ever expect success to be handed to you. You have to work for it. I remember, like, I used to have this like goal, like I want to get to 1 million. Like I need to get to 1 million subscribers. But then when I really asked myself beginning of this year, do I really deserve that 1 million? And my genuine answer was no, because I wasn't consistent and I wasn't showing up for myself. So in order for you to be where you are and to receive what you want to receive, you have to be prepared, ready to receive it. Because at the end of the day, if they give you the 1 million subscribers, the 10,000 subscribers, what are you going to do with it if you're not doing anything with the one that you already have? So that's something I'm going to say, you know. So, and which is one of the reasons why I'm pushing myself to just show up as much as I can. So that way, when I finally have it, I know that I'm set, I'm prepared, I have a standard, I have a process, everything is working together. So let me just open it up. Okay, I'm going to quickly check out your YouTube page. You didn't leave your handle